When people close to you act in strange ways, like giving you strange looks or acting in ways that make you feel uncomfortable, it's not always what they say that counts. Sometimes it's what they do that says more than what they say. If someone makes jokes that sound mean, they might be showing clear signs of jealousy and secret resentment toward you. These subtle cues can be seen in small actions that you can't explain. Today's journey will take you into the maze of human behaviors, where we will try to figure out the mysteries behind the gestures we see every day. Looking into these parts of human nature not only shows us truths about other people, but it also shows us our own hurts and fears, even if it's not always easy to see and understand why they happen. Figuring out these expressions can help you stay safe and make better decisions in relationships. Are you ready for this interesting read? On the road, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with me until the end. If you've been through anything similar, leave a comment and we'll keep talking. Your contribution is important for the community to grow, and it could help someone else who is going through the same thing. Let's start together. Number 1. For undermining first successes on our way to finding out how to connect with other people. It's a bad habit for some people to make fun of what others have accomplished. This happens when someone who is jealous plays down or ignores someone else's hard work and wins. This kind of behavior can come in many forms, such as comments that play down someone's accomplishments, or an attitude that seems uninterested or even denies that someone's hard work deserves credit. The point is to get the person who did well to doubt themselves, making them and everyone else think that what they did wasn't that important. People who act this way often say things that seem harmless but are actually meant to put down someone else's accomplishments. Sayings like, "That's no big deal," or "I could do that too if I really wanted," are ways to make hard work seem silly or unimportant. Sometimes not saying anything or ignoring someone's good news can be just as loud, sending a clear message that the success isn't worth the trouble to acknowledge. Talking about how people put down other people's accomplishments makes us think about how our words and actions affect the people around us. This kind of behavior not only doesn't help the person who is doing it, but it also shows that they are struggling with jealousy and unhappiness. This also gives us a chance to understand how important it is to celebrate and appreciate other people's wins, because everyone wins when someone else succeeds. If we want to make our community a happier and more supportive place for everyone, we need to remember what the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said: "Envy is the ulcer of the soul." This makes us think about how destructive envy is and how healing it is to be truly happy for other people's successes. It encourages us to turn envy into admiration and resentment into celebration, creating a place where everyone's victory is celebrated. This change not only makes our lives better, but it also makes the ties between people in our communities stronger, leading to a more caring and united existence. Number 2. A copy of Number 2. As we learn more about how envy affects our relationships with others, we discover something very interesting: excessive imitation. This isn't just liking what someone else does, it's copying them so closely that it can sometimes feel like you're trying to take over their identity. While we often hear that copying someone is a compliment, this turns out to be a complicated and sometimes dark side of envy. At first glance, copying someone might look like a good thing. To like the same things or have the same hobbies, they're trying to steal the show from the other person and maybe even beat them. Copying someone else's behavior shows that they are deeply unhappy with themselves and are always looking for approval from others. If someone copies someone too much, it can become a dangerous game of twisted reflections. where the copycat forgets who they really are. When someone is chasing after someone else's image, it's not just about trying to look like the person they envy. It's a mad dash for the traits they admire in the other person, hoping to soak up the success and praise the. It's important to know that the desire to copy comes from deep fear and low self-esteem. If someone is stuck in this cycle, they might feel like they aren't good enough and turn to imitation to feel like they are. But this will only make them lose their true self and miss out on the richness of human life. Everyone has unique qualities and potentials that should be embraced and honored, not buried under imitation. It is important to create a culture where people accept and value what makes them different, encouraging everyone to find and develop their own talents and passions is key to building relationships based on respect and genuine admiration instead of unhealthy competition. By addressing and resisting the urge to copy others too much, we make room for more genuine connections and celebrate the unique and valuable points of view each person brings to our social. This insight underscores the importance of embracing our own inherent worth and cultivating contentment with who we are, rather than endlessly striving to emulate others through this journey of self-discovery and acceptance. We pave the way for deeper connections founded on authenticity and mutual appreciation. Number 3, aggressive habits. In the middle of all the ups and downs of life, there's a tangled mix of feelings and actions, with passive-aggressive behavior really catching the eye. This kind of behavior, usually coming from hidden feelings of jealous why and unhappiness, creates a complicated pattern in how we get along with others, filled with mixed signals and not being straightforward. People shadowed by jealousy, rather than facing their feelings, honestly often pick a tricky way to show it through snark and hidden jabs. These comments might look polite on the surface, but they're really like poison arrows aimed to sting and bring down others, all without giving a chance for a straight-up talk. This sneaky behavior ends up being a trap, not just for the person on the receiving end, but also for the one dishing it out, for the person doing it. It's like a getaway car showing. They might not have the courage, or maybe are scared to deal with what they're really feeling or wanting. It's all about a complicated mess of feelings. They're not dealing with straight twisting them into something else instead, for the person on the perceiving end, the roundabout way. These comments are made gives them a mysterious vibe, making it hard to really get what's being said. It's like they're always trying to figure out if what they heard was just a regular remark or a hidden dig, diving into how passive-aggressive behavior works. Makes us think hard about why we get envious or bitter. Why do we often show our darkest feelings in such a roundabout way? Is it because we're scared of showing our true selves, or maybe we think we're keeping our pride by not facing things? Head on this question really makes us pause and reflect, pushing us to think deeply about how we handle our feelings and those of people around us. So when we look into passive-aggressive actions, we're not just learning about a unique side of how people interact, we're also embarking on a personal journey to understand ourselves better. Envy and unhappiness are deeply human emotions, yet they can cause a lot of pain. They give us a chance to grow personally, but only if we're brave enough to confront them directly and truthfully. This subject invites us to think deeply about ourselves, urging us to dive into our inner workings and better understand what drives how we connect with others. As Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, once said, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? This reflection on our own vulnerabilities and shortcomings offers a road towards compassion and self-improvement, guiding us through the complex web of human feelings and behaviors. Number 4, information manipulation, one of the sneakiest ways. Number 4. People driven by jealousy mess with others is by playing tricks with information. They either twist the truth or keep important facts to themselves, all to make someone else look bad or block their way forward in work or among friends. When someone does this, it shows they're okay with hurting others to get what they want, and the damage they cause can stick around for a long time. When people use these tricks, they might tell lies or leave out information that could help or protect someone. The goal is to hurt the person's reputation, making it harder for them to do well at work or in their social life by spreading lies. The jealous person tries to get other people to question the target's skills, intentions, or goodness. Not only is this behavior bad, but it also shows that the person doing it has a deep-seated problem with jealousy, which can hurt friendships and work relationships. Messing with someone's information can change their whole path, so be careful not to do it. People can twist information, and knowing what damage it can do is the first step in stopping it. We need to work toward making spaces where openness, mutual respect, and double-checking the facts are the norm. This helps stop these bad things from happening in the first place. Plus, it's important to speak out when we see someone lying, not only to protect those who might be hurt, but also to call them out and try to stop them. This could mean putting an end to a lie or pushing for a more open and honest way of speaking. It's more important to be honest and do the right thing than to win at all costs. It takes courage and determination to stand up to twisted information and the jealousy that drives it, but it's a fight worth having. By doing so, we're looking out for each other's well-being and making our communities and society stronger. In a world where being honest and trustworthy is becoming more and more valuable, it's up to all of us to make sure that information is shared and kept honest. Instead of being openly negative or critical, envy hides in the shadows, where there isn't any support or words that hurt our self-esteem. In this case, the person who is jealous wears a mask of worry or practical thinking, saying they are just being sensible when they question whether goals or dreams can be reached, implying that these hopes are unrealistic or made up when someone who should stand up for them does. Buy you and lift you up only ends up casting shadows of doubt and bringing you down. It has a big effect if it shakes your confidence and drive. You should feel boosted on your way to your goals, but instead, you start to doubt your own worth and whether your goals are even realistic. It's a sneaky form of envy that slowly eats away at your determination and sense of self-worth. Getting people who act this way to support you or try to bring you down often shows their own fears and doubts, not that your dreams are silly or impossible. Looking at things this way can free you, help you find your own drive, and get real, helpful support from others. So when we see lack of support and constant negativity as signs of jealousy, it makes us realize how important it is to cheer each other on and believe in our dreams. Solon said that getting over these problems not only makes us stronger and more sure of ourselves, but it also leads to a community where everyone cheers for each other and believes that everyone wins. Envy is a statement of weakness. This view helps us get past the shallowness of envy. Turning our contacts into chances to help each other out will lead to a more supportive and united society. Community number 6, extreme number 6, rivalry. As we explore the twists and turns of human feelings, we come across extreme rivalry where people get too caught up in comparing themselves to others. This can lead to some pretty nasty stuff. It's like wanting to be better than everyone else, so bad that you'll do anything to make sure they look worse. Sometimes it even gets to the point where you try to mess things up for others just so you can come out on top. Healthy competition can be a real motivator, driving us to reach new heights and be our best selves, but when envy sneaks in, it poisons the whole thing. It's like this dark cloud that hangs over success, making it feel empty unless someone else fails. It's exhausting, always measuring yourself against others, and it never leaves you feeling truly fulfilled when someone becomes overly competitive because of envy. It shows they're struggling with their own insecurities. They start to tie their own worth to the failures of others, which isn't healthy. This obsession can lead them to do all sorts of things, from constantly putting down other people's achievements to outright trying to ruin their success. It's not just dagging to the people they target, it also messes up relationships, breeding mistrust and bad vibes all around. So the real task here is to catch ourselves before we go too far down the competitive rabbit hole. We need to be brave enough to take a good look at ourselves and realize when we're getting too obsessed with beating others instead of tearing each other down, we should aim for teamwork and lifting each other up. If we focus on pushing our own boundaries instead of trying to one-up, everyone else will find a much better and longer-lasting way to grow personally. The best way to lessen the bad effects of envy-driven competition is to make places where people can work together and appreciate each other's efforts. This isn't just about making individuals feel better. It's also about making communities where everyone helps each other. When we deal with envy and too much competition in a mature and understanding way, we can turn these problems into chances for everyone to grow as individuals and as a group. It's all about making society better. People who smile like this often seem angry or jealous, even if they seem friendly on the outside. They might say things that sound happy or supportive, but their body language and the little signs of real emotion tell a different story. They might be angry or jaloux. This shows how complicated our emotions are and how good people are at hiding what they really feel. And the little things they do that show how they feel can be very deep and tell us a lot about what's going on inside them. The smile that stops short of the eyes is like a sneak peek into someone's deeper feelings, showing us the struggle they feel inside between wanting to be liked and being unhappy or jealous. The difference between what people say and what they show us without words is a reminder that our feelings are complicated and can get mixed up. Paying close attention to the little things people say and do is important for spotting these moments of fakeness in everyday life. This skill isn't just about understanding the complexities of human emotions. It's also about being more aware and honest in our relationships. When we see a smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes, it makes us think about what's really going on and the real feelings that might be hidden. Recognizing these times also makes us think about how we show our feelings and whether we're being as honest as we can be. It's a chance to think about who we really are and how we act in a world that often expects us to always be happy and helpful. Though it can be hard, being honest and careful about negative emotions like anger or jealousy is an important part of growing as a person and making real connections with others. Encourage open conversations about difficult emotions like envy to clear up misunderstandings and make our relationships stronger. By accepting the complexity of our emotional experiences, we make room for more meaningful and authentic relationships. As Seneca wisely said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. This makes us want to put emotional honesty and authenticity first. Number 8. Fear of being hurt. Number 8. Projection in the tangled world of our feelings. We sometimes find a tricky habit where people throw their own worries and weaknesses onto others. This often comes from jealousy or not feeling good enough. Imagine pointing at someone else's mistakes or the bad parts, but really, you're just showing what you're struggling with inside this habit. Is like a shield to hide how vulnerable we feel, trying to shake the other person's confidence by making them feel small or less than. When we pick at what we think our flaws in others, we're really trying to take the spotlight off our own problems for a bit. It's like pretending our own issues shrink. But that's just a trick we play on ourselves. The real issue, our shaky self-esteem and our hard time dealing with not feeling enough, stays untouched. Throwing our worries onto others doesn't help us grow. Instead, it can really hurt the confidence and feelings of those we target. This creates a loop of bad feelings and hard feelings, making it tough to form strong and kind connections with others. To see this behavior for what it is, a sign of jealousy, it takes a lot of self-awareness and kindness, both to see it in ourselves and to understand it when we see it in others. Criticism like this gives us a chance to think about what's really going on with the person who is giving it to us. It pushes us to find a better way to deal with our own fears. It's important to stop putting our problems on other people and talk openly about our flaws and insecurities. This can be done by making a place where everyone feels safe to share their worries without fear of being judged. Kindness can help us break out of this cycle and start building better self-confidence and deeper relationships with others. When we stop projecting our insecurities onto others, we're really beginning a journey of self-discovery and growth. We can make our lives and relationships better by turning this habit into a chance for self-improvement and understanding. This will also make the world a better, more helpful place for everyone. Number 9. Covert sabotage in the complicated world of number 9 interactions. There is a sneaky problem called hidden sabotage that can happen when someone is jealous. This is a tricky issue because it's all about being sneaky and not drawing attention to yourself. People who do this out of jealousy prefer indirect ways to hurt others, like putting up barriers to their success instead of being direct competitors, or putting someone down. Spread false information, or try to change people's minds about something negatively. Their goal is to slowly but surely destroy someone's progress, making it very hard to figure out who is responsible. This kind of sneaky sabotage is especially dangerous because it can look like bad luck or random problems, leaving the person being hurt feeling confused and vulnerable, often not realizing the real reason for their setbacks. This behavior doesn't just make someone doubt themselves for a short time. It can have a lasting effect on their confidence and their path in life, whether at work or in their personal life. The really scary thing is how hard it is to catch and prove covert sabotage is happening when there is no clear proof of bad intentions. Standing up to the sabur or getting help becomes a daunting task, leaving the person facing these hidden attacks to wrestle with doubts about their own abilities and judgment. Working to create an environment where people can talk freely and respect each other can also lower the chances of sneaky actions like these. To build a community that doesn't tolerate jealousy or other forms of undermining, it's important to have open conversations about the problems we face and work to build relationships based on trust and support. When we face covert sabotage, we're really being asked to think deeply about how complicated human relationships are and how important it is to build a professional and personal life full of honesty and strong support by staying aware and dedicated. Number 10. Choose 10th. Indifference in how people treat each other. There's a sneaky but strong thing called chosen indifference. When someone acts like they don't care about other people's success or happiness, it's usually because they're jealous. Instead of being happy for them or supporting them, They act like it's not a big deal. But in reality, it's a way to put down their happiness or success, which can hurt them deeply and change how they see themselves. Selective indifference is a sneaky way to steal the attention from others, sending the message that their accomplishments aren't very important. This sneaky strategy is meant to plant doubt in the person, making them question their worth and the value of their efforts. Ultimately, it's the envious person's way of easing their own insecurities by putting down other people's successes. However, this method is ultimately flawed because it doesn't address the reasons for their envy and instead makes the problem worse, leading to strained relationships and emotional problems.